These guys, they don't
And
know,
this
man.
goes
They work
back
there.
to Santos' super chat about, wanting to hear Drew's reaction to the trade and who won it.
I'll tell you what, man. Santos, I appreciate you acknowledging me as the true king of New York. At first, when I saw this deal, I didn't love it on first glance for the idea that I thought that picks would be involved on top of RJ, on top of IQ, because of the conversations last season with OG Anunoby potentially being traded for 3 first-round picks. Now, IQ has been playing some insane basketball recently, but we do understand that there is a guy in front of him who also happens to be playing some insane basketball himself, and Jalen Brunson, shooting a 3-ball at an insane clip of almost 45%. But I don't know if we were going to see IQ's potential fully unlocked in New York. I feel like we just got a little bit of a trailer for it. Because, again, you're not going to get the minutes over a Jalen Brunson. So to see Jalen Brunson to see IQ go to the Raptors on top of RJ, who I feel as if in this trade, this is where you can look at it and be like, okay, I'm fine with this. OG goes to New York, you give up RJ. So now you're getting a lockdown defender, and you're getting a more consistent offensive player. That's why I look at it for the Knicks, and I think, okay, I like this a little bit more, especially with the idea you're not giving up any first-round picks. I believe it's only a second-round pick that the Raptors will be receiving. So,
which is basically first.
With the Knicks, I feel a little bit more as I've had time to think about it. It's an all right move for the Knicks, especially because you go for fit as opposed to just the name. Because OG can fit a lot of teams that he was going to be traded to. And in the Knicks situation, they just needed a consistent, reliable wing, and that is OG Anunoby. But you look on the Raptors side, IQ, now getting opportunity. You get to move Dennis Schroeder probably to the bench, who's been a pretty solid really plus for the Raptors. Does he become expendable also at that point too? I would not mind Dennis Schroeder making a return back to LA. But let me put my Los Angeles hat aside. IQ now has an opportunity to really put his name on the map. Of course, he's in New York. We all know who IQ is. We understand the basketball player that he is, the efficient shooter that he is. But now in Toronto, there's more opportunity to be had. Both him and Scotty Barnes can now handle the ball. A little bit more spacing brought to the Toronto Raptors. Just a little bit more excitement, a little bit more pace being added to Toronto that they desperately needed. You get RJ also in that situation. Going to be interesting to see how he fits in that team because you saw the way that they were limiting OG's offensive play style. Interesting to see what happens with RJ. Seems like he always manages to get his regardless, but interesting to see how he'll fit into the Raptors. But I like this move for the Raptors because IQ now has a chance to really blossom into a high-level basketball player. But for the Knicks, you need fit. You need to do whatever you can to make this team most appealing for what can happen in this offseason, which could potentially be bringing in a star to superstar level player, and I know everyone wants it to be Donovan Mitchell. That would just be the icing on the cake. But I definitely like this move for both sides. Just at first glance, seeing IQ go was definitely tough if you're a Knicks fan.
Are we sure that Quickly is going to right away start over Dennis Schroeder?
He should.
I think Dennis Schroeder has been awesome for the Raptors this season, no doubt. But for the offensive upside, you know that Schroeder can come in off the bench and give you a boost there. Similarly with IQ, but you don't trade for IQ knowing that he's going to want his money. You're going to be in Toronto trying to give him the same situation that was over there in New York. To me, I find that a little bit wishy-washy.
I think it's hard. He's averaging 14 and 7. He's playing great defense. IQ brings in a defense, but I don't think he brings in a playmaking aspect. When I first saw this shit, I thought it was awful for the Knicks. I thought, why is it OG? Why are we trading RJ and IQ? I thought it was more picks. It was just a second-round pick. But then I saw the other pieces around it, and even if we just got OG, I probably would have been fine with it. Precious to absorb some backup center minutes. I'm not how Malachi Flynn, but he's just a waiver guy. Like, yeah, maybe he might do something off the bench because we need more juice now. If I were to rate this trade on both sides, I think the Knicks get a 9, and I would give the Raptors an 8. And the reason why I think the Raptors slightly lost this trade a little bit is because you now have more young players around Scotty Barnes. I think Emmanuel Quickly fits with Scotty Barnes, but you're tied to RJ Barrett. I think RJ Barrett is an average player. I think he's inconsistent. He can't shoot. And with Pascal Siakam being with Toronto currently and Scotty Barnes, I think that bringing in RJ into the starting lineup immediately is going to hinder their spacing. So I think from a spacing perspective, it's going to hurt them. And as long as you have RJ on your team long term, he's going to hinder your spacing if he's in the starting lineup.
You've been waiting on this?
It just is what it is. It's not that I've been waiting on this, but it's funny because RJ Barrett was a darling for Knicks fans. When he got drafted, I was very high on him. He was the 3rd overall pick. I thought he was going to develop, but he never developed into what I thought he was going to be. And I kind of realized that his second year in the league, I kind of was already noticing, okay, I'm not going to get my hopes up too much on this guy because I already see what's coming with him. And I was right about it. You know, every Knicks fan that I told that to wanted to slander me for saying RJ Barrett's not very good or whatever. I don't care that RJ was traded. I could give a shit that he was traded. I'm glad he's off my team.
I'm not. Why are you surprised to hear this?
It's as simple as that. Rude. I hope that he succeeds back in the country that he's from in Canada. It's going to be a big deal for him playing there. But I'm disappointed. He never lived up to the pick that he was supposed to be. He never did.
We're talking about real overrated prospects.
I'm disappointed. At least he's a starter
Cam
for 4 years.
Cam Reddish is a starter too.
Cam, he's an in-season tournament champion.
Oh Christ! There's no shame at this table.
If this was just RJ Barrett straight up for OG, oh my God,
please.
through the roof. IQ hurts. That's an emotional attachment that hurts. Runner up for 6th man of the year last year. In the playoffs, he didn't play all that well though. But IQ hurts. He was somebody that exceeded expectations, and he's such a fun player to watch. And that's the thing. If RJ Barrett was a fun player to watch, I feel a little bit differently. He is a hard watch. It's very stiff. It's a hard watch. IQ's exciting. He's fun. I'm going to miss him. But this was a great move for the Knicks, and this was a great move because you need a wing defender. I mean, I just seen 2 back-to-back games versus the Magic where Franz Wagner scored 32 and Banchero scored 29. And then the game before that, the Thunder, Jalen Williams on the Thunder scored 36 and SGA scored 36. Yep. We need a defensive stopper. That's OG Anunoby.
Yeah, I know Mitch too right now.
We're not going to limit both of these guys, but as long as we can limit one of them, that's what we need. And you look at the Eastern Conference, if we face the Celtics in the playoffs, I mean, we need at least to contain Tatum or Jaylen Brown, and that's what OG Anunoby can at least offer. He can offer some resistance. Emmanuel Quickley was on a last year of his deal. He's going to be a restricted free agent. There's no way you're paying 2 point guards a combined $50 million, and one of them is going to be on your bench. So Emmanuel Quickley wasn't going to be on this team long term. And RJ Barrett, the fact that we got out of his contract, I mean, he's getting paid $23 million this year, and I think that that's a $2 million raise each year. And we'd be stuck with him until the year 2027, and that year he'd get paid $29 million. I mean, stuck
with him. You're sounding so rude.
Not the worst contract.
I mean, paying RJ that much money.
And the Jalen Brunson contract is the best contract
in
basketball.
It's a bargain.
You got to pay Brunson next year.
But it's just
already?
The reason
I thought
why
it was 4-year deal.
Next year's the last one.
Last year wasn't year one.
This is year 2, Brunson.
No, this is year 2, Brunson.
I thought so.
No, next year you have to pay Brunson, or he's a free agent.
Well, no, I mean they could extend him, but I don't think he's a free agent.
Because I think it's a player option. The 4th year is a player option.
It could be. Devs is searching it up. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to disrespect RJ, but it's
okay
really,
to be honest, bro.
It's really.
He does have a player option for $24 million.
It's about
undoubtedly decline.
He will decline.
It's about being honest, though. He's not good enough to be one of the lead ball handlers on the team and dictate an offense. And he's an odd fit next to stars. I mean, what does he do well? What does he do great? He doesn't defend great. He doesn't finish great.
The effort is there.
He gets to the rim great, but he doesn't finish around there great.
6'7".
He doesn't shoot great from the mid range or from the 3-point or from
Can't
three.
dribble great either.
He can't dribble great. I mean, he's just a very average player. Like if you're telling me would I rather have RJ Barrett or Harrison Barnes as a fit player?
Because he can shoot.
Is it crazy that I'm going with Harrison Barnes?
I genuinely don't know.
If I'm asking you, would you rather have Kevin Huerter or RJ Barrett?
Oh, Kevin Huerter.
He can shoot.
He can shoot.
That's
no.
That's not
sometimes,
crazy.
No.
Sometimes he acts a little wild.
Yes, and we've seen him go ghosts. We have.
Yes.
Yeah, but he goes
But
not taking
he at
shots
least
he
got
can't
the
make.
threat. Like RJ Barrett can shoot 45% from 3 for a month, and defenses will still sag off on him. Kevin Huerter can shoot 28% from three, and they will still respect
level.
the shot.
RJ Barrett this season was going through some migraines, came back, obviously still hasn't been the RJ that we saw late in the playoffs last year. But against the Cavaliers, he played some awesome ball.
I respect him for that.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't think you do.
Yes.
He played better than Julius Randle, this All-NBA player of
that's
yours.
not
The bar
saying
is
much.
so
now
low.
we're,
That's
but,
not saying
but
much.
now that we're relying on
Randle's been
even
playing solid
more.
last
He hasn't
couple
played
games.
solid.
This
Yeah, no, we're
season,
talking about the playoffs
this
last
season,
year.
Randle's been
Yeah,
awesome.
he's been great
He's,
outside
you, this
the 2
is
weeks.
the way that people talk about Joel Embiid. The thing with the difference is Joel Embiid gets injured. Julius Randle's 100% healthy. He goes into the playoffs and he can't get. He's just
dates.
not this guy.
Well, let's Julius Randle.
My point being is you traded RJ. Now your chips are all in the Jalen Brunson, now OG Anunoby, and Julius
disagree,
Randle
but
basket.
But they
think
also
Randle-
they have all their draft picks, so they have pieces plus draft picks.
Yeah,
for
Yes.
and that's the thing with the deal. And I don't know why
I'm
Knicks
going strictly
fans,
this season though.
Why Knicks fans? I don't know why Knicks fans was throwing a fit and throwing like a.
It's because of IQ.
Yeah, like I get the
is-
attachment to IQ, but he's not this star player. Like he was never gonna grow with the Knicks, unfortunately, like you mentioned, because Brunson was in front of him. Because you have tried Brunson and quickly starting together. I don't know, that's a little too small unless it's like a Donovan Mitchell who's a star level player. But I thought the deal was fine. I thought the Knicks got what they needed. When Mitch went
said the
down,
Knicks won the deal.
Yeah, when Mitch went down, their defense has not
Period
recovered
after
since
it.
losing
Yeah,
Mitch.
he went
serious.
serious.
No, yeah, like the Knicks won the
It's a huge
deal. They
punctuation.
got off the contract in RJ Barrett, which you should have never gave him that contract anyways. And I get that money isn't that big of a deal in this market, but when you giving somebody that money and they're not providing you any real positives to the star players, then it becomes dead money. Like RJ Barrett does not complement Randall. He does not complement Brunson. He does not complement the offense.
Career low minutes per game
Yeah, so
this year.
it's basically dead money that you just have sitting there. So why not put it in a player that fits more offensively? He's a great spot up shooter. Defensively, he does a little bit. He does almost anything on the defensive side. So that's somebody who can come in. He can help your defense. If Mitch ever comes back, that combination could be great. And you gave up quickly who you probably was going to have to give money to, which you probably didn't want to. Do you have to pay OG down the road? Probably,
After the
but that
show.
also gives you a TPE and the trade level exception so you can make another trade. You didn't have to give up any real picks. You gave up a second rounder, which is nothing big. You still have multiple first round picks that you can get for a star. And you're trying to be competitive this year. You know, you're trying to make an effort. And I think bringing in OG, and people were saying this all day. Oh, he's not better. It's not about who's better when you're a team like the Knicks. It's
Who
about
is he not better than, though?
Well, they were saying he's not better than Quick and RJ. I didn't really pay attention too much into it. But
Well, he's way better than RJ.
no, listen, I agree, but it's not about who's better. It's about who fits next to your star players. When you have those guys, when you have solidified stars, at this point, it's about who fits. And OG Anunoby fits better than RJ. He fits better than Quickly. Like it is what it is. He's a 3-and-D player that can plug on 28 different NBA teams. So that's why I think the Knicks won. And in terms of the Raptors, I don't like RJ Barrett with Scotty Barnes. Like I just don't. I don't know if this is the young talent you want to bring around Scotty Barnes. I liked Scotty playing the lead guard this year. You know, if Quickly comes in and he starts, that's fine. But now you're giving probably $100 million to a point guard of that type of caliber, of that skill set. I don't know if you do that, but if you want to do it, that's fine. But you still need to build some type of young talent around Scotty. I just think tying your hands to 2-3 more years of RJ Barrett, who's probably not going to benefit your roster, is insane. But at the same time, I'm looking to see what they do with Pascal. I think that's the move that's going to really decide what this all looks like.
And not only that, but there's no upside for RJ Barrett going to Toronto because Scotty Barnes is going to have the ball more than him. Pascal, for now, is going to have the ball
And they're
more
going to
than
try
him.
Quickly with the ball.
Scotty's their point guard right now.
Yes, and Quickly should have the ball more than RJ. So you're looking at RJ and you're saying, well, you're going to be a fourth option at best on this team.
I think that's
Where's the opportunity coming
I
from?
think there's a chance for RJ to rediscover himself in Toronto. You know,
He needs to shoot better. That's number one.
he does,
Here we
but
go.
I don't. First of all, I don't think the contract is
What's
abysmal.
rediscover?
I think he could find himself
Find
because
a new role.
Yeah, exactly. He's number 3 overall pick. Went to New York. There was all this pressure on him to be the guy, number one on championship team. He's not that guy, which is fine. But in New York, it was never gonna be fine. In Toronto,
What's
though,
the role, though?
It's the same
what
role.
if what if
Let him
he
cook.
could have a similar role? And listen, completely different scenario to Andrew Wiggins with the Warriors.
Was that
where
not
he's-
what his role was but after Randall and Brunson, the third guy, maybe the fourth?
But I think New York was just never gonna work in New York because he was drafted number 3 in New York.
So not
Andrew
role
Wiggins
change,
wasn't.
just media change, not role change, media change.
I don't think the pressure. I think the pressure was on RJ Barrett. He was always supposed to be the guy. He wasn't the guy. You bring in Brunson and Randall, who are obviously better players than him. If he could go to Toronto and become a player who is going to be a great perimeter defender, and shoot 37% from three, okay, now we're looking at a player that could actually be utilized on a championship team down the road. Toronto has a far way to go from that. And I don't think the contract is to the point where it's just unbearable. Yeah, $29 million at the last year of his deal isn't great, but also we're talking 2-3 years down the road, new TV deal. That contract's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be what it looks like it is today, where he's getting paid more than Jalen Brunson. I think this is fine for both teams. I didn't see it really as a fleecing one way or the other. At first, I think more people were surprised to see IQ and RJ Barrett go for someone like OG when they were expecting that to be a deal of Donovan Mitchell, or before the season, this is the core to go get Joel Embiid. Embiid's playing at such a level, who knows if he becomes available down the line. But I think people were surprised that this was the deal, or these players were included for a player like OG, because we know OG's role, right? He's not going to come in and be some superstar. He's a great perimeter defender, period. Obviously, he could shoot the ball. He fits great with this Knicks team. The only issue I have with not even the trade, but kind of like the reaction around it is like, well, we weren't going to have Emmanuel Quickley anyway. He was going to walk, right?
Terrible.
But it's like, you shouldn't devalue your player just because you're not going to keep him, because the Raptors and teams around the league are still going to value Emmanuel Quickley.
Yep.
Like, you shouldn't devalue him just because you have someone who's better on your team who plays that position. Emmanuel Quickley's value around the league is still super high, even though it might not be as high to you because you have Jalen Brunson.
On less minutes, averaging more points, better efficiency
he averaged
from last
23,
season.
5 and 5 on 60% true shooting as a starter last year.
Here's the thing. If his value was that high, if his value was that high, I feel like the Knicks could have got a better deal. They didn't have to add him in this deal. I feel like
I don't know if it was that high.
But that's my thing. If his value was,
they had no leverage.
If his value was as what y'all are talking about, I don't think he would have been placed in this deal. They could have got something better.
Well, I just
No,
don't think.
all I'm saying is the Knicks should have held on.
Exactly. I value him more than I feel like the Knicks value him.
But
how long
the
you
Knicks
gonna-
trading him
unless it's for-
essentially pull out
But
their
unless
hand
it's
and
for
say,
a
hey,
star,
we're not signing him back.
Unless it's for a star that you're not going to, like, unless Mitch becomes available and Embiid becomes available, he was going to stay past the deadline. So you were going to have to pay him, and you weren't going to be able to trade him.
He was going to be competitive? Isn't he restricted free agent too? You could have matched.
Yeah, so you're going to match. You're going to have to keep him until, I think, like December or January towards the next year.
Okay.
We're still paying
You
$60
have to
million
match.
to
What if a
guards.
team comes with an offer and say, we'll give Quickly $30 million? If you're the Knicks, you're matching that?
No.
Which means you let him walk for nothing. Now you let him walk for nothing.
I think Emmanuel Quickley is going to shine in Toronto. I
He
think
is.
he's going
I'm
to go
not-
and
I'm
have
not
an average.
disagreeing.
Nobody's
25
saying he's
point
not.
per
But
score.
you either get
What do the Knicks-
something
What
or
team's
nothing.
going to offer $30 million to Quickly?
That's pretty much the market for that type of archetype player.
Brother man,
$30 million?
this market is insane.
He's averaging 15 points a
Brunson
game.
Brunson
I can
got
see the Spurs
25
offer
Brunson
him
got
30.
That's what I'm
$25 million a
saying.
year coming from Dallas, and that was just really off a playoff run.
But Brunson was
the money has,
unbelievable
but the money
in
has
the
jumped
playoffs.
since then.
It also,
I
yeah, it's
understand that,
2
but
years.
I can see the
30
Spurs
million?
throwing $30 million at him.
Even if it's not $30
But
million.
what were the conversations around Austin Reeves that he was supposed to get an insane amount of money? He got 4 years, 56.
Yeah.
So
He's
that
gonna get
wasn't
more
the
than that,
case.
though,
He probably should get more, but $30 million seems.
But I think that's because
outrageous.
nobody,
But nobody
no one gave-
offered Austin
exactly,
Reeves.
Yeah, no one offered,
which
Austin
was
Reeves.
shocking.
So
We
then
all
you didn't
thought
have,
that
so
they
you
were.
didn't have to give him a lot of
But I
money.
think IQ should
Quickly
be
is going to
valuable
get
more
back.
than
Even if $30 million is too much, would you give Quickly anywhere between $22 to $25 million?
Yes,
in a heartbeat.
I'm not thinking twice about it because you
Is he
have
my
the
starter?
you
Answer
have
me a
a
question. But
that's another question I have for you, and I apologize, Joel. We'll get into yours. You said that you don't want to see the IQ Brunson duo together unless it's Donovan and Garland, which Donovan and Garland's definitely superior, but at the same time, why not? Because offensively, it gives you a huge boost. Jalen Brunson's amazing at scoring the basketball, and so is IQ, and IQ still gives you some defense.